And good morning, everybody. I am 10 Tampa Bay meteorologist Rich Fields here in the newsroom, Gandy Boulevard in St. Pete. How you doing today? This is our 11 o'clock hour update on weather, and we're also going to get you caught up on what's going on in the tropics as well. A couple of new developments there, and we'll get to all that right now. Let's start out with our live shots around the area. Always looking for the cloud cover buildup. Look at the Lakeland shot, upper right-hand corner of the screen. Starting to see some cloud cover out there already building. Still dry air in the area. Today will be our last day of relatively dry air. Precipitable water values are going to start skyrocketing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the way into next week, as a matter of fact. 2 inches or more, if you keep track of that kind of stuff or know what I'm talking about. But that just means a lot of atmospheric moisture to tap into at the heating of the day and convection. So our rain chances are going to go way up from about a 40%, 50% chance of rain today to 80, 90% chance coming our way the next couple of days. But let's step through some of the live shots and see what we got going on for you. Let's start with the Clearwater Beach shot, Wyndham Grand, looking north along Clearwater Beach. Absolutely beautiful out there, not a cloud in the sky, really nice. Bellwether Beach Resort camera, looking toward downtown St. Pete out there. Again, very little cloud cover. It's early. Heating of the day is what we're anticipating, any kind of thunderstorm activity today. And again, remember, it's going to be light because of the dryness in the atmosphere, the dry air conditions in the atmosphere. Also, I will monitor the page here. If you guys have any questions or comments, by all means chime in. And I will get to those in just a little bit. Let me know where you're watching from too as well. That helps a lot. There's the Mid-Florida Credit Union camera at Lakeland looking east, and you can see the cloud cover already starting to push into the center of the state and build up there. Heating of the day, that's what we look for. There's the downtown Tampa camera. Also looking, that's a little more southeast, if I'm not mistaken. All right, here you go. Current temperature downtown, 88 degrees. Look at the dew points. We have been hovering in mid 70 degree dew points for, oh geez, the better part of a month or so. And today, obviously, upper 70 degree dew points. Last night, during the 11 o'clock news, I showed the St. Pete Pier, which is on the Tampa Bay side of Pinellas County. And the current temperature at the time, this is 11:15 at night, was 84 degrees, I believe it was. The dew point was 81 degrees. The feels like temperature was 100 degrees at 11:15 last night in St. Pete. That's beyond oppressive. That's crazy. 77 degree dew point right now with an 88 degree temperature. We are at 100 degrees. The feels like temperature of the indices at 100 degrees right now. All right, here's your weather headlines. Last day of relatively dry air. Rain chances are going to remain on the low side again today, but then more moisture moves back into the area later on in the week. And I'll show you some of those PW precipitable water values in just a second. There's the satellite and radar. Not a lot of action right now. We'll go in a little closer on our immediate service area. And again, not a whole lot happening just yet, but let's step through Futurecast and talk about the rest of the day. So I stopped it right there at 1 o'clock this afternoon. That looks to be the first of any kind of shower activity popping up. And it's right over Tampa, most of Pinellas County, most of Hillsborough County. Well, I shouldn't say that. I should say most of downtown Tampa. Lakeland's going to have some spotty shower activity, it looks like, and then Manatee and Sarasota counties in this neck of the woods right here, also some poppy shower activity. There's the Lakeland showers, and this is what I was talking about, the initial pop-up. All right, let's step forward again to about 5 o'clock this afternoon. This is height of the rush hour. And right along the I-4 corridor for the rush hour home, just some light shower activity. Step forward again to after 9 o'clock tonight. DeSoto County, just southwest of Sebring, fairly decent cell. Looks like a nice thunderstorm cell. 9:20 this evening. And then we'll let it run through to about 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we clear out to fairly clear skies for the bus stop and the kids on their way to school. So it should be really nice tomorrow morning. We won't see any kind of activity till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and again, it starts right here along the coast, all the way from Pasco County down through portions of Pinellas, any of the coastal counties, Anna Maria Island, Longboat Key here, spotty shower activity. And then by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, again, we're getting the heating of the day, and look where the sea breezes collide at. Right through our service area from, well, this is Citrus up here. And all the way down, I'm sorry, I was listening to somebody talking down the way about weather. And then by 7:30 at night, man, check it out. Through the center of the state, definitely some possibly severe thunderstorm activity. All right, here's the water vapor loop. What you see in pink on your screen, hopefully it's pink on your screen. It's pink on my screen, pinkish orange. This is the water vapor. This is the dry air, this area here, this pink area. And you can see how it vects into South Florida. We are on the cusp of it. You might notice some of the more moist air to our north, and even pockets of some generally moist air. Those are some thunderstorms popping up and blowing out into the Gulf. But nonetheless, we're still going to be under the influence today of this dry air in the area. Here's the atmospheric moisture. This is the precipitable water values. This area out here, that is Earl. Tropical storm Earl right there. Nice, big, counterclockwise rotation. Tropical storm. And it may look like it's close to the state of Florida, but it's not. It's a long, long way away from Florida. But nonetheless, there's a lot of moisture wrapping around this, and some of that moisture is going to get dragged up into our neck of the woods by the weekend. So let's step through atmospheric moisture. That was today. There's Wednesday. You can see the darker greens starting to move into the area. Lighter greens, obviously some drier air. It might make out some tan right there next to the legend. That's really dry air. Let's step through to Thursday. Boom, all of a sudden we get a huge swath of moisture all the way through the west coast of the state. So rain chances are starting to go up. There's Friday. A lot of, see that dark green? A lot of moisture moving into the area Friday. Our rain chances are going to be 80% probably from about Thursday through, oh boy, Monday, Tuesday of next week. There's Saturday. Some of our northern counties, Citrus, Hernando, Pasco, still under the influence of some moisture. And the cutoff line of more dry air runs right through Hillsborough County, including Manatee and Sarasota counties, Polk, Hardee, DeSoto counties, a little bit drier. So north of I-4 on Saturday, the best chances of getting significant rainfall. There's Sunday, slightly drier. And there's Monday of next week, and you can still see the dark greens, the moisture moving in. Here's some very dry air moving into South Florida through many of the southern counties, including Dade and the Miami area. So here's the expected rainfall the next 5 days. We were at a 40% chance of rain yesterday. That verified pretty well. 50% chance of rain today. 60% chance of rain on Wednesday. And then, as I keep mentioning, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, on into the weekend, even Sunday, good 80% chances of rain coming our way here in the Tampa Bay area. So, the tropics. Let's talk tropics real quick. We're looking at 4 different systems right now, 2 of which are storms. This one's a full-fledged hurricane. This is Hurricane Danielle. This is Tropical Storm Earl. This area of disturbance right here in the brown has a 40% chance of developing into something tropical, either a tropical depression or tropical storm. 40% chance of it developing into something tropical in the next 2 days, 60% chance of it developing into something tropical in the next 5 days. And you can see the area of probable formation of it becoming something tropical outlined on your screen. This one back here, just peeling off the west coast of Africa, I believe this is Monrovia. This is much further south than we've been seeing the storms peel off. They've been coming off of Senegal and over the Cape Verde Islands. This one is very far south. I pointed this one out last night, as a matter of fact, on the air. It was really looking like it had some potential. And it's starting to verify. The Hurricane Center on Miami now gives it a 20% chance of developing into something tropical in the next 2 days. All right, let's go in and talk about Danielle. This is the one in the furthest north in the Atlantic right now. Sustained winds, barely a hurricane, by the way. Sustained winds at 75 miles an hour. It's moving east-northeast at 6 miles an hour, starting to lose its punch a little bit. The farther north it gets into colder water, the more it's going to decrease the storm's impact or intensity. Central pressure still below 1,000 millibars, 986 millibars. I mean, it's still a good hurricane. It's still a Cat 1 hurricane, but nonetheless, its track is going to take it up to the north and east over the course of the next couple of days, and the further it gets north, it's finally going to lose its potential to be a hurricane and end up as a extratropical cyclone, a big low pressure system, and move its way toward the United Kingdom and portions of Ireland over here. All right, let's talk about Earl. This is the location of Earl north of San Juan and northeast of Haiti right now. Earl is not a hurricane, tropical storm. You can see the sustained winds within Earl are 65 miles an hour right now. Remember, it takes 74 mile an hour wind speeds at minimum to become a hurricane. Moving north at about 5 miles an hour, central pressure just below 1,000 millibars, so not quite to hurricane strength or wind speeds just yet, although it's got some really nice, tight, good-looking circulation there. There's a lot of shear around this storm. I mean, crazy amount. This storm has gone through a lot. This storm survived massive amounts of shear almost a week ago, 5 days ago, and wind shear, just very high winds, and they have a tendency to try to rip storms apart, certainly try to rip the tops off. But there was also that Saharan dust layer that this storm had to get through, and it survived all that. Let me see if I can get the wind shear product up here for you real quick. There's a better shot of Earl. Looking really good. Earl's track, by the way, is going to be very similar to Danielle. All right, I was able to get the wind shear product in there. What you see in the blues and the greens are very high winds on the northern side of Earl. And it's still surviving. It's still, matter of fact, it looks like this wind shear is actually kind of enhancing the rotation a little bit. But there you go. There's the potential track of Earl moving north at about 5 miles an hour. This could be our strongest storm once Earl becomes a hurricane, and that is projected to be, looks like Thursday morning on the graphics from the Hurricane Center out of Miami. It could become a Cat 3 hurricane. Let me blow this up for you a little bit. Could become a Category 3 hurricane as early as Friday, with sustained winds at about 115 miles an hour. But then you see, as the further it gets to the north, the colder the water gets, and that's a storm killer. Cold water, storm killer. Dry air, storm killer. Shearing winds, storm killer. We are, what's today, the 5th? 6th, September 6th already. The peak, the traditional peak of hurricane season for us here in the Tampa Bay area is September 10th. We are 4 days away from the peak of hurricane season. We are just now coming into the peak time of hurricane season, so certainly not the time to let your guard down. Certainly, if you haven't prepared, keep preparing, get your stuff together. The chances of us getting a storm, just looking at historically, are still very high. But we're 4 days away from the peak of hurricane season, so don't let your guard down just yet. If we do get another storm, It will be the 6th on the list, and it will be Fiona. Fiona will be our next storm. All right, so let's talk about the marine forecast for today. We're talking about easterly winds turning northwesterly a little later today, and really more westerly, I would say. I was looking at some of the products with Bobby Deskins just maybe a half hour ago. And it moves from easterly to southwesterly to more of westerly winds when the sea breeze kicks in. 5 to 10 knots today, seas a foot or less, bay and inland waters at a light chop. No advisories for us, whether on land or out in the Gulf. And the Gulf temperature now at 88 degrees. And here's your overall 7-day forecast. Mostly sunny today. A few afternoon thunderstorms, nothing like we'd been experiencing last week, that's for sure. That dry air has really knocked the chance of us seeing any kind of heavy thunderstorm activity or widespread activity. So today's daytime high at about 94 with a 50% chance of rain. We're up to a 60% chance of rain by Wednesday. Look at Thursday. Thursday we're up to 80% chance of rain. Friday 80, Saturday 80, 60 on Sunday, 70 next Monday. So there you go. All right, let me take a look at the Facebook feed here real quick. See if we got some folks chiming in.
Good to meet you guys.
A lot of people online, holy mackerel. I don't see any particular weather questions for me. Let me check the 10 weather page as well. And it looks we are good to go. Next weathercast will come up with Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. He's going to have an update on the tropics for you as well. Things are changing fairly quickly, and the storms blowing off of the west coast of Africa seem to be one right after another right now. So we're going to keep you abreast of all that here in the Tampa Bay area. And so I will leave you with that beautiful shot of Clearwater Beach, Florida. One of the most beautiful beaches in the country. And we will see you next on TV.